The longest train I ever did see was 1,000 coaches long, and the only woman I ever did love, she's on that train and gone. Now you look up and down that lonesome road and you hang your head and cry, 'cause the best of friends are bound to part, and now why not you and I? I would say we were hoping that music could be the medium that could present the truth of living. Our model had been the blues. Our model, I mean, there had been 2 or 3 generations of black musicians who had said what life was about and said it beautifully. Hey, baby, did you ever hear a one-eyed woman cry? She cries pretty good, good baby, with her one good eye. For the first time in a beautiful way, intensely melodic, I mean, you know, with the most subtle harmonies and shadings, with the black genius of not being on pitch, but teaching us all to just shade around with pitch. With that, what was being described was real life. We walked around saying we are describing real life. I'm not sure we were, but we got closer than the media. Although the rock and rollers were, of course, going a whole other way at real life. They were letting Americans wiggle their hips a little bit, quite a bit. In each case, things are strangely balanced. We were not talking about real life, talking about our real life, and we could easily become caricature. But we were gathering real life. These were deep emotional things, which the main culture did not make available. Remember, the main culture turned everybody into an audience. Our job, unless we were rectangles, was to be audiences, unless we had a badge. We were told how to dress and how to talk. We were supposed to emulate this and do that. The model was in front of us. All of a sudden, there's a shift in perception. A shift in perception, where before we had been colorblind. We suddenly realized we could tell people, hey, look at this color. Look at time. Look at what's really going on between people. Remember, a Northern European culture had been evolved in America, which didn't really talk about what was really going on between people. It reduced human relationships or disrelationships to formulas. Upper Anglo formulas, if you will. The cocktail party distance was the emotional distance. And it was all just, you know, it was all frozen. We were in a nightmare of frozen emotional and social distances. We cut through those. We, as folk music people, may have been a little pretty absurd, you know, making believe we were chain gang convicts. But we did have deep feelings and were not afraid to talk about them and to sing about them. So, and to ask the people down there in the audience to also feel the way we did. And that happened. We drew people in. We did not want to make. And remember, this was in a period where entertainment was, you know, Las Vegas, and and the whole thing of the entertainer who is very good, and wants to let you know how bright he is and how well he's doing is. We couldn't care less how good we were. We were our music. Dylan was his music. And if you're not interested in Dylan, as I'm not really that much, all of us, we were that. We were right there. And the culture had made it possible for us to be that, for which I believe the American culture was the only one that could have done that. In Europe, we couldn't have done that. We could have fit another role, but we did not go to fit to roles and adapt them. We didn't have, punk roles that were tailor-made for us, or who are the skinheads now? Every role is made. Well, we had our own. We were us. The folk music thing suddenly made us all national figures. Heck, I mean, we couldn't handle it. We were just doing our thing, we thought. It's at this point when we suddenly seem to be the arbiters, the keepers of the Grail, that Dylan starts to write within those folk music melodies, but poetry that speaks about a way of perceiving that, if you will, instead of being woof, was warp. I have to keep referring to that it's very important that this culture only lets you experience a certain way. The television tells you this is the way to experience role models, thoughts, until that's what you experience. And then there comes a point at which it is absurd to only experience that way.